to sleep when you are home. How many times a night you light that fist up? I see how much you're pushing yourself.
Just trying to keep the peace.
I didn't expect to see you here, brother.
We have family matters to discuss.
You and Davos, you trained together.
I fought my brother. There is no changing what happened.
You feel that you can just walk through this world as if it belongs to you.
The Iron Fist is not a weapon to be held, it is to be used.
Now you'll give me what's mine, brother.
You will suffer.
The Iron Fist, Davos wanted it.
We can stop him, but I need help.
You're not alone. But we can't save everyone.
I can't just sit here and do nothing.
I have become the thing you never had the strength to be.
Aloha. This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And this is Trinidad, your Island Man. Today I want to talk about not a movie review, but a TV show review. Netflix's Season 2. Now, remember our rating scale. I'll just jump right into it. Shock a thumbs up. It's good to see. I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down. It's bad to see. It's junk. I don't recommend it. And, well, for Iron Fist Season 2, it is a shock a thumbs up. Netflix really outdid themselves on this one. Considering the fact that if you had gone back and watched my Season 1 review of Iron Fist, I said, hey, they shouldn't even bother to make a Season 2. And I put some comments in there that they could do, or that they should have done, that would have made it a much stronger show. That being said, Finn Jones, who plays Danny Rand, Iron Fist, does so much better here in Season 2 of Iron Fist than he did in all of Season 1. You know, he's still not the greatest fighter on the planet, but he's getting there. The more time spent in training and choreography has really paid off. And you could see those jumps from Iron Fist Season 1 to, you know, what he did in The Defenders and into Luke Cage Season 2 for that one episode that he was in. You know, his movements have become more natural and more fluid. But he's still not, you know, you can tell he is not a martial artist. And in Season 2 of Iron Fist, you know, all of his hard work has paid off to where he is watchable now. And he is a fine actor. Something that, you know, we really didn't get much of him in Game of Thrones to signify his acting ability or capability. So it's finally nice to see him go through the gambit. There are some problems with Season 2, although it is a shock a thumbs up overall. Again, mainly thanks to a lot of help from the supporting characters. You know, Colleen Wing, also from, you know, played by the actress from Game of Thrones. See, I forget what her name is. Hendwick or something like that. I'll put it up over here, what her name was. But she plays Colleen Wing, Danny Rand's girlfriend, essentially, from Season 1. And she pretty much stole the show from Season 1. And then also we get Simone Messick's character, Misty Knight, from Luke Cage, crossing over. Whereas in the comic books, you know, you have the dynamic duel of Iron Fist and Power Man, Luke Cage. But you also get a offshoot team up between Misty Knight and Colleen Wing as Sisters of the Dragon, who fight crime on their own as private detectives. And we can see more of this bond solidified here as the two really click when they're in scenes together. And Misty is pretty much on full, in the show from episode 5 on to episode 10. And that is something that had surprised me, honestly. I was expecting 13 episodes, as like all the Netflix seasons shows, with the exception of the Defenders. And some people say, well, the shorter season episodes, instead of 13, make for a better overall season. And I don't believe that. I believe that, there is plenty of story to be told, if not about Danny Rand, then about all these supporting characters. It would have been nice to get some further backstory on some of the other villains in this, because again, it is not centered on one villain alone, but multiple villains in this, kind of like Luke Cage of season 1 in that regard. Or even more about Colleen Wing and her kind of backstory. There is some talk about what she had done growing up, what her mother had done, and I'm going to go into some spoilers here. If you had seen my review of Iron Fist Season 1, you would know that I said, hey, they should just get rid of this Danny Rand guy. Finn Jones is terrible. If they should do a Season 2, make Colleen the Iron Fist, Colleen Wing, because her martial arts skills are so much better. She's a natural, having had more training, fight training in Game of Thrones and other television shows that she's been in. She just moves more naturally, more fluid, and her character was overall better, than the Danny Rand that we unfortunately saw in Season 1. And there was a point where Colleen could have died from poison, but Danny Rand saves her using the Iron Fist. And I said, well, in that moment, they should have killed Danny Rand and had the power that saves her from the Iron Fist go into her. Well, lo and behold, that is one of the main topics of Season 2, is the transference of the Iron Fist power to someone else. It starts with Davos, again from Season 1, no longer a friend of Danny Rand or Iron Fist. He wishes to take the power for himself, feeling that Danny Rand had stole it from him back in Kun Lun. And he finds some technique that allows him to do so, which is very much in essence with the comics. There was an evil Iron Fist in the comics long in the 70s, long ago, that had wished to usurp the power of Danny Rand. He already had like some type of power from the Iron Fist, or another offshoot of study from the Iron Fist, but he would become even more invincible, more powerful if he had absorbed Danny Rand's Iron Fist as well to combine with what he had. And so that is the main overall plot of Season 2, this transference of power. But we also find that Danny Rand is in a bad place in his life right now. That the power of the Iron Fist is pretty much, kind of made him giddy on power. And he finds himself not able to control it all that much anymore. It just seems to come, and like the Hulk, he gets angry. Like Luke Cage, he gets angry. He loses his focus, loses his center, and the Iron Fist comes, and he just uses it, and he feels good about using it because it's power, similar to the drug addiction and reward and joy return. And so drug addiction to power and riches is also one of the main themes of Season 2 as well, and how people deal with that. As we see Ward, Danny's friend, now running the company, have to deal with his own problems, his own addictions, going to AA meetings and the like, as he tries to smooth over things with his sister, which, she, working with Davos, will have none of it, and we'll see Rand fall, one way or the other. So there is, there are places where further those 3 extra episodes would have helped out. Either focusing on Ward and Joy, Colleen. You get a good chunk of Davos, but there's also a secondary, the true secondary villain is this woman named Mary Walker, who plays in the comics a woman named Typhoid Mary. Now, she was originally a Daredevil character, Daredevil villain, that comes in on bequest of, I believe, the Kingpin to assassinate Matt Murdock. But her modus operandi, as she has multiple personalities in the comics, is to go ahead and seduce her prey and get them into a weakened state, and then attack as her alter ego or as the other personality. And also, she is a mutant in the comics, and can make people sick, thus Typhoid Mary, giving everyone an infection after getting close to them. So, we could have used more of her backstory. There is much that we need to learn further about her character, as it looks like she's going to come back still in season 3, if there is a season 3, or, whatever they choose to do if they go into, a separate series in itself with Colleen Wing and maybe Misty Knight, say the Sisters of the Dragons. It could all happen. But I think she'll be the carryover villain for that, as Davos is in jail. Alright, so those are just my feelings and my thoughts of it. But overall, a shock of thumbs up. Well worth the watch. Especially now that it's only 10 hours with the 10 episodes. You can do that in 2 days, which I did. Usually it takes me all weekend, 3 days from the Friday through Sunday to watch 13 episodes. So I was quite surprised when 10 rolled around and it was over. It's like, what? Yeah, because it leaves you right on a kind of a cliffhanger, that it's like there's so much more to find out, but they're definitely teasing that for next season, season 3 of Iron Fist. Okay, so essentially, to finish up these spoilers, Davos does get the power of the Iron Fist, stealing it from Danny Rand. Danny Rand, seeing how on the verge of evil he had been becoming with abusing the power of the Iron Fist, wishes that when they get it back, it does not go to him, but to Colleen, which is a wise choice. And we also find out that perhaps her mother even had some type of connection with this power previously. So that in itself puts her better in line, maybe possibly hereditary-wise, genetic-wise, better able to control and understand this power. So Davos loses the power, Danny Rand loses the power, Colleen has the power, and as we see, right in the last few minutes of the episode, Colleen is able to channel not only it into the Iron Fist, but also into her katana blade as well, lining it up so that it appears almost like a lightsaber in many respects, which is very, very interesting. And then cut to Danny Rand and Ward, who have left New York City, kind of on a search to find themselves and further answers to life's perplexing questions. We find out that his powers as the Iron Fist has returned, but he can do both fists like Davos did when he had gotten and stolen the power from Danny, and he can channel them now into to what look like Colt 45s, and when he fires his bullets, which is nothing that I had ever seen before in the comics with his character. Perhaps this is an acknowledgement that they are moving away from his martial arts, that they're tired of taking crap from his overall lack of convincibility as being total martial artist, and they will move now to these guns, letting Colleen take up the slack in that respect. I don't know. But if so, so be it. It's an interesting take. If he wants to just use these iron fist guns or bullets and power that he can channel into them. And just like Colleen does with the sword. But this also raises a question that if his powers had returned, does that mean that Davos then breaks out of prison because his powers returned? Even though, it had been stripped away from him by Colleen. Danny's was stripped away by Davos and never came back to him, so why would his return and not Davos? We will all have to wait till season 3 to find out, but at least, unlike season 1, it is much, much more satisfying, much, much more interesting, and everything gels together that much more. However, like I was saying, there is a problem with Danny being off kilter this whole season of season 2 of Iron Fist. It's hard to find out where in this point he was during Luke Cage season 2, when he came in and visited that episode, telling Luke Cage, hey, you need to find your base, you need to be more grounded, you need to release your anger and focus more on the problems, and thus you'll be more channeled for your power. The entire season of season 2, there was no point that we feel that Danny Rand as Iron Fist would have went to Luke Cage being this, this guru of knowledge at the time that Luke Cage needs it. That is the only flaw. But, and you can just chalk that up to the director's style, the lack of the coherent stories between series. But overall, season 2 of Iron Fist is worth a watch. Shock a thumbs up. Go ahead and check it out. Save your money from the theater. There's really not much more going on. All right, thank you so much. This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, giving season 2 of Iron Fist a shock a thumbs up on Netflix. Check it out. All right, thank you so much, and aloha.